Hello, everybody. It is Coach Malcolm here again, and welcome to Grandmaster Guessing. If you don't know what Grandmaster Guessing is, which you probably don't because I've never made a video on it, it is where we are going to be spectating some of the top games on chess.com. They're all right here. A number of Grandmasters are playing right now, I already see. And chess.com has a neat feature where you can guess the next move that's going to be played. So maybe we'll be doing some IM guessing, some NM guessing, some FM guessing, and whatnot. But we're going to be looking at some of these interesting games, taking a look and just guessing a bunch of moves. Actually, first thing I wanted to do was the puzzle of the day, because what are we doing if we're not doing the daily puzzle, right? The daily puzzle is a must. So I guess this puzzle is titled Warrior in a Garden. It's white to move. I've never looked at it, I promise. So let's take a look, okay? Let's see. It looks like we're down a piece. We've got equal pawns, but we are down a piece. But rook a1 looks promising. Rook fa1 in order to threaten checkmate on a8. Maybe that king could move over, possibly. But if we play rook a8, then king d7. It's a little tricky. We also have the idea, some kind of discovery with bishop takes d6, but it looks like bishop takes d6, maybe queen takes f3, and even if we played bishop takes c7, king takes c7, pawn takes back on f3, we're still down that piece. We only got a pawn for it. That's not really what you want in this sort of in this position, to be honest. I do like rook a1 as a good starting move. Okay, awesome. The king goes to c8. That's what I was expecting. Rook a8 we could play. Then the king would head on over to d7. And see, that's where it gets a little tricky. I guess we could take on a8. King takes. Rook back. But what if the king goes up back to d7 again? Not exactly sure. We also have queen c6, which is pretty... Queen c6 looks very promising. If pawn takes, I don't see any way for them to stop force mate from coming. Okay, pawn takes, and now rook a8 is going to be checkmate. Alright, so we solved the daily puzzle. Awesome. Now let's get to our Grandmaster guessing. We're in the Grandmaster mindset. We solved the daily puzzle. We can do absolutely anything. So let's check out, not a bullet game. It's a little too quick to be guessing moves. I'm not sure who these players are, but it's a GM matchup. So what we do, we turn off the evaluation. We turn off the lines. Now we're just going to assess the position. They're low on time, so we may have to just wait hopefully they do a rematch. Alright, so the video cut out for a second, but the game ended, so we're just going to go to a separate game. The game was pretty fast anyways, and I can show you guys how the whole guessing setup works. So, let's go to this game right here. We've got two Grandmasters. They don't have a ton of time, but it is an increment game. So what happens is, we can basically move pieces on the board. Well, first we're going to try and assess the position, but then we can move pieces on the board and basically try to guess what the people's moves are going to be, and then it will say how we did. It will basically just say how we did and rank the guessers, because there's multiple people that are usually spectating. So in this position, it looks like it is white to move, I believe. So if we had guessed that, then it would have taken it into account. But they're going pretty fast right now just because those were some captures. But now, so see, we could try to guess pawn takes, and that would be incorrect. And it would say it. Okay, well, it did not compute right now. But now I believe black. So if black took, so okay, here's a good example. It says f takes e5. Your guess, f takes e5. And then, whoopsies. Your guess, f takes e5, f takes e5, incorrect. Because it wasn't the move that was played in the position. So it's going to be tricky. We're going to do our best. I don't think they'll take. They don't want to get into an opposite color bishop endgame. I think they're going to play h6 is my guess. Okay, they played e6 instead, so it is. It will say incorrect again. So if we look at this position, just without guessing for a minute, because I also want to do a little bit of analysis. White's up a pawn, and black is definitely in trouble with these two pass pawns, pressing, but they're handling it well. They've got their bishop in front of the pawn. It's hard to counter this bishop, with a light squared bishop, and this dark squared bishop is going to have a hard time getting to that h8 square. I assume this knight is going to, I'm going to guess, okay, I was going to guess knight back to come over to d6, but I guess if this bishop stays on the line, it's not really the best idea. But maybe this knight has sort of a different idea in store. Possibly a6 here, or they're just going to give up the pawn. Okay. Well, here I would assume maybe knight b5. It's a little bit slow guessing. Okay, so white flagged. Maybe they'll play a rematch. Maybe not. That game was a little quick. We want something maybe that can slow down a bit. Sorry about this. All right. Let's check out this game. All right, they've got a lot more time. Now let's take a second to assess. Same color bishops. We've each got a rook. 3, 6, 7 pawns for white. 3, 6, 7 pawns for black. Very equal game. You know, pretty interesting, honestly. And now we can start doing some guessing moves. So there's 11 people observing. Not all of them are necessarily guessing. But it's interesting to see. It looks like it's an IM playing an NM, but the NM has been doing pretty well. They have 2 more points. And that is a big difference between a master and an international master for sure. Alright, bishop back. Maybe we can start doing some guessing soon. Possibly g5 will be played to give that king a little space. No, they're going to play bishop e5 first, king e7, king f3. Okay, f4 first. Guys, I'm sure I'm going to get a ton of these wrong. We can keep guessing and guessing and guessing, though, just for fun also. But it's tricky. You know, I'm not a grandmaster. I'm not going to particularly think like one on the spot right now either. So I think white is struggling because king f6 is going to be my guess, trying to go for this e6 pawn. All right, so we got one right. See, we got the correct symbol right there. It looks like we're the only person guessing too. So it tends to happen as well. It's kind of tricky for white. I was going to guess e4. I assume king takes. We would have gotten it. Pawn takes, pawn takes. Okay, too fast for me to even guess on my own. Rook over, I assume king d5. No, because they don't want to make backwards progress. So possibly king f6. Okay. Because they don't want, I didn't mean backwards progress. They want to keep this pawn on e7 safe and in good care. Maybe e5 is kind of interesting to look at here. First, they're going to play h5. Maybe they will play e5, maybe not. Gotta get this bishop to safety. b2 looks like the only square, so we know that one's correct. a1 back again. This could end up being a draw, guys, because white is losing here. They're down a pawn. You know, not down by a ton. Oh, okay. Bishop a3. Didn't account for as much. I assume this pawn is going to take, and then a6. All right, we didn't get to do it in time. That's all right though. a7. Okay. b4. Yeah, this is a very interesting game. I assume rook a8. They don't want to let that bishop get to b8, but now the rook is trapped. White may have an advantage here, but it's tricky because these pawns are going to storm down the board, and that's going to be very, very hard to deal with. I assume pawn b2. Okay, c4 first, because if takes, then pawn b2, it's impossible to stop that pawn. I assume d5, d4 is coming in soon. This is going to be pretty strong. Or b2 first. Okay, and now I assume white is going to resign sooner or later, because this game is ending. Alright, we don't need to guess anymore. This is going to go by pretty quickly. They're just going to send some more pawns down the board. You know, whoa! You guys have fireworks going off in your neighborhood? Alright, sorry about that. Maybe I'll include a flash warning. Alright guys, fireworks are done, at least for the time being. I apologize if that startled anybody. I didn't know they were coming either. I was a little scared myself. Let's check out this game right here. It looks like, oh well, this is who we just saw, the person who just won their game. Maybe we can check out someone else. Do we have any GMs? We do. We've got these two absolute GM monsters battling it out yet again for our entertainment. It looks like this guy is 2-0, but of course it can switch. Who knows? Let's just look at the beginning of the game. It looks like it was Ruby Lopez. Okay. This is interesting. Okay, cool. Pawn d5, takes, pawn d4, I assume, pawn e4. I don't think they'll take on d4. I think they're going to be happy locking up this bishop sort of with his own pawns. Alright, so we got that right. E4. Awesome. Knight goes to A4. Castles is what I was about to guess. They can't castle queenside. You know, maybe an idea would be to go King F2, but maybe that's just an idea that players like me have and grandmasters disregard entirely. Possibly Rook B6 here to guard that hanging A6 pawn. Oh my gosh, I accidentally castled Rook B6 and then it was played. That's alright. We're not in it for the competition, we're in it, you know, for the excitement. Pawn A4. You know, this bishop isn't doing a big job. Maybe it'll come to E7, attack that knight on C5. No, Queen C8 instead. We came in 3rd place. Oh my gosh. No, I'm just kidding. It's not the craziest thing. CM. CM. I'm not sure what CM is, to be completely honest. Canadian Master. I'm not sure. I have to just get back to you guys on that one. CM. Candidate Master. Could be Candidate Master. You know what? There's a lot of prepositions and sometimes you can get lost. Alright, let's get back. Let's focus back in on this game, okay? Whoa, they're going to give up their rook for what looks like a really nice attack. I assume bishop c1. They're gonna want to get out of there as fast as possible. Yes, bishop c1, rook e8 maybe to get on that open, not open file, but support this pawn. I mean, this is very interesting. Black is obviously up in exchange, so they have 2 extra points here, but these pawns are super strong. These bishops are going to get a lot of work done, particularly this bishop on this diagonal right here. Okay, they're going to choose to play e3 first, but this bishop on this diagonal, very, very strong. I'm sure the queen is going to come in. Castles. Wow, these are interesting games. You know, turns out grandmasters just have very interesting games. Queen f5, bishop b2, a little repositioning. Okay, they're going to pick up that free pawn. On c5, c2 is guarded by the queen. This, you know, you can't even say, I mean, you could say awkwardly placed queen, but she's doing a good job. She's guarding h5, she's guarding c2, she's also, you know, just protecting g3 from any threats that may come, protecting this king. This pawn on e3 is super interesting. It's a pass pawn on e3, but, you know, we're only on move 27, and there's a ton of pieces on the board. This is still the middle game position. Looks like my dog is coming into the room to join us. Hi, Ginger. You coming to do some game analysis? Alright, well, rook e1 is interesting. Let's see, what can happen? Hi, puppy. Pawn e2, right, because this pawn is supported not only by the bishop, but by the rook as well. Rook c1, d3, I was going to think d3, but pawn takes, wow, bishop f3, what a move. King g1, or black is just going to resign. I mean, white is going to resign, I apologize. Because this is, king g1 is not even playable, right, queen g2, bishop takes g2. Wow, what a great, that was super cool. So pawn d3 wasn't even about, you know, trying to threaten d2. They knew they were going to take, or tried to trap them in taking. It was helpful they didn't have a lot of time, but it's really about accessing this open diagonal with the idea of bishop f3, and you just get to do that. And then, of course, white resigns here. Their only move is queen takes g2, and after king takes g2, this is just a whole mess for a bunch of reasons. Even if this king moves again, we're going to pick up this bishop on b2, and now, what if we look at the points, it's +7 for black in this position. If it was played out still with a pawn on e2, and if they traded, now they're just, you know, trading off even more material. We don't need to go down this road. This rook is also just hanging. I don't know why I suggested that. Alright, so we didn't even get to do a ton of guessing, but I always think, and I've done videos in the past on analyzing Grandmaster games. They're very interesting games. They have ideas, you know, stuff that I'm surprised by. Again, I apologize for the fireworks. We got some guesses right. I was happy to see those. And, you know, hopefully if there's anything you can take from this video, it's that Coach Malcolm needs some education on what exactly a CM is, because he's not positive, I can tell you that much. But I will see you guys in the next video, and I'll tell you guys what a CM is for sure. Bye-bye.